Hi, everybody. My name is Shannon Scandoza, and I am the founder and CEO of Inspirational by Design. We are a virtual clinical simulation training company in the field of healthcare. It is the very first of its kind, so I'm really excited about that in terms of what I do and how I do it. How that is different from being an SP educator, well, being an SP educator is number one. So I'm an educator first, but how that differs from my role as a CEO and founder just means that I have all the admin responsibilities as well as the recruiting and the marketing and the sustainability. So honestly, really not much different than what you guys are already doing out there. So I have had a lot of experience in university and healthcare systems and leadership roles. And so having the opportunity to be in a space where I can create a safe and innovative space for educators, for faculty, for students, and for SPs, and for non-healthcare related professionals in our interprofessional education course to come together and enjoy working together, collaborating and learning from one another. So what does being an SPE mean to me? Well, everything. It started very early on. I've been a patient or my family members have been patients our entire lives. So I grew up in hospitals. I grew up around medical providers. I grew up having different lived experiences, and every single thing that I've experienced has shaped my understanding, has shaped my experience, has shaped my empathy for this discipline, for this industry, and for what we do. And having the opportunity to be part of the communicative process between the patient and the provider and creating that safe space and that trust and that authenticity is just, it's an unbelievable, an extraordinary thing. And I'm very grateful to be part of it in any shape or way. So that's what being an SP educator means to me. Our students chose selfless roles. So I choose to support those who are selfless. So thank you so much, ASPE members, for listening to me and taking the time to hear what being an SPE educator means to me. I hope that we can empower one another, put each other first, and seek out equitable and accessible options for every person at the table. So take care.
Hi, I'm Daniel Haley here on behalf of the Book Cafe. See, back in 2023, I was searching for a virtual professional development opportunity that really engaged me, a brave space for learning like those that we create for our students. I wanted to be more plugged into ASPE, connect with my colleagues, and grow my skill set. The catch? Well, due to steep time constraints at work, any professional development needed to be low intensity, but high reward. Sound familiar? Fortunately, I stumbled into a live book cafe event and I found both a space, but also a community that ticked all the boxes. Shortly after, I joined the subcommittee, and today, I lead our awesome team. Book Cafe is about exercising our curiosity. It's about generating community, growing knowledge, and of course, activating our empathy. Each academic year, we host 3, yes, only 3, live workshops, each focusing on a particular book that connects to an overarching theme. Take last year, for example, where we explored professional resilience. The conversations that those books sparked were insightful, lively, and a lot of fun. I know I learned a ton from those conversations. And this year, our theme is presence. I cannot wait to dive into that subject. So, whether you're hunting for an excuse to read a book, or a low-stakes way to plug into ASPE, or even just a curious and supportive community, I think you're going to find it, like I did, at the Book Cafe. I hope that you have an amazing conference experience, and please reach out to me with any questions or epiphanies and bright ideas, or of course, recommended reads. Take care.
Hi, My name is Kazi Kazort, and I am a simulated patient educator / trainer. I was actually a SPE for about 10 years prior to stepping into this role, and I've been an SPE educator for the last 5, so I feel like I've seen the chaos from both sides of the curtain. My title, as probably yours, sounds really simple. Yes, I train and support simulated patients on portraying cases realistically and giving hopefully meaningful learner-centered feedback. But probably what's not included in the title is that I'm also a coach, a facilitator, a scheduler, an editor, a mediator, and on some days just the problem solver for things that nobody saw coming. There's a lot of invisible work in this role. As you all know, I'm sure we're collaborating on policies, fixing workflows, editing cases, working with faculty, trainers, colleagues, SPs, basically anyone within a 10-mile radius of simulation. And at the same time, we're hiring, we're onboarding, we're scheduling, we're doing event logistics, supplies, communication, advocacy, DEI efforts. I mean, the whole shebang. And it really takes a village to make this work. For me, I think what being a simulated educator means, I have really found my passion in the feedback part of this work. Feedback for me is kind of the place where things either click or they don't. And so after years of being an SP, I kept seeing this gap where, I was told to give good feedback, but was never really explained what that looked like or how to do it. There were some soft suggestions on how to give good feedback, but I found a way in which to put that onus more on the learner. And so here at my institution, I created my own feedback framework called Rivers, along with a rubric called the Clear rubric to put more intention and less subjectiveness into the way that we deliver feedback. To me, being an SP educator is about creating that clarity and building confidence in moments that could feel vulnerable for a learner. It's about helping SPs use their voices and helping learners grow in a way that's honest and safe. And when it works, when feedback actually lands and you can see that shift, because the goal isn't just to deliver feedback, it's to create a space where it's discovered. And for me, that's the moment where we're not just running simulations, we're shaping how future healthcare providers are going to show up for real people in the future. And that's my jam. Thank you so much for listening.
Hi, everyone. I'm Renee Wadsworth. I'm the chair of the Communications and Connections Committee here at ASPE. And our committee really is the voice and digital heartbeat of ASPE. Our mission is to communicate ASPE's goals and initiatives, connect members through our website and social media, and uplift the important work of all SP educators across the world by featuring their research and original content on the blog. So we meet about once a month to talk about upcoming strategy, research, events like this annual conference, how we can collaborate with other committees to showcase their efforts. And that looks like publishing original content, curating content for the blog, spotlighting that research, innovations, and thought leadership from across our community. We do manage all of ASPE's social presence. So right now that's LinkedIn, Facebook, X, and Instagram, and always keeping an eye on where the community is headed next, and featuring center spotlights, highlighting your simulation centers from across the field, across the world, celebrating their missions, their numbers, and the incredible disciplinary work that they're doing. This year at conference ASPE 2026, our committee is presenting a session you won't want to miss, spotlighting your professional identity, strategic social media, and digital presence. And that's Tuesday, June 23rd from 2 to 3 p.m. So whether you're brand new to social media or you're looking to level up your professional brand, this session is for you. And just real quick, we truly could not do this without our amazing committee members, all featured here. We are always looking for people to link arms with us. If you're into writing blog content, elevating research, managing social channels, creating content, Canva, design, anything, any of those things, we want you. This is a place where you can make a real impact, be a part of something meaningful, and make some lifelong connections along the way. We have a really great time, and the work we do matters. So reach out to me, Renee Wadsworth, rwadsworth@sped.com. I would love to connect. Look for me at conference. Come up, say hi. Can't wait to see you in St. Louis. It's going to be a blast.
I was hired on a promise. Help us innovate, they said. They promised to train me in pedagogy, to teach me the delicate art of the pre-brief and the reflective power of the debrief. I was going to be a co-author, a researcher, a respected peer in the growing field of standardized patient education. I wasn't just hiring into a job, I was joining a discipline. Then reality set in. The faculty didn't want innovation. They wanted their existing scripts followed, gaps and all. When SPs reported inconsistencies or student concerns, the response was always the same. It doesn't matter. My input on orientation was sidelined for vetted slides from a decade ago. The training for debriefing? At some point, they said. 5 years later, that point has never arrived. Then the lean times hit. A teammate left. I absorbed the work. A budget cut eliminated another position. I absorbed that too. You're so valuable, they told me. It's just for a little while. That little while became my permanent reality. I am now one person doing the work of 3 full-time employees. My reward? A 2% merit increase that doesn't even keep pace with the cost of the coffee I need to get through the day. The salt in the wound is the silence. Faculty published dozens of papers based on simulations where I trained the SPs, where I managed the logistics, and where I mitigated the disasters. My name is never on the byline. They call me an innovator in meetings, but treat me like a cog in a machine. The admin team sings the praises of all the work we are doing. I was hired to be creative. I could be replaced by a robot. I've stopped trying. I've stopped suggesting. No one noticed. In a field this niche, there's nowhere else to go, and the outside world doesn't know what an SP educator is anyway. So I'll keep training the SPs for the credit I'll never receive. I'm living a simulation of the career I was promised, but there is no debriefing for this.
Hi, I hope everyone's well today. My name is Carrie Bonert, and I'm the chair of the Standards of Practice Committee. We're going to walk through for just a moment what we have going on with the committee, what's coming up for the conference, and our work for the next year. Okay, so as the Standards of Practice Committee, we are responsible for, guess what? The Standards of Practice. The committee is made up of these amazing members who hail from all over the world and work incredibly hard to write, to revise, to do things in a scholarly way to improve the quality of the work that we do in our field. So we are really excited to announce that earlier this year, PETA standards, so Physical Exam Teaching Associate standards, made their way to publication and are now available for everyone to access. Thanks to Holly Hopkins for championing those. And as always, Karen Lewis, our previous Standards of Practice chair who oversaw the putting together of that work. So those are available to you. If you search ASPE, PETA standards, you should be able to find those. They are published open access, so they should not be behind a paywall. What we have coming up next is revisions to the standards of best practice that were published in 2017. So those, we've been through a scholarly process called a Delphi process to revise and improve and add to those standards from 2017. Those have been submitted to a journal, and we are now in the submission process and the review process for the scholarly peer review and hope to have those out soon. Our presentation as a committee will be Tuesday afternoon. Please do attend that if you're interested in hearing more about the PETA standards, or if you're interested in hearing more about the revisions to the SOBP that you're so familiar with. We'll be there to answer all of your questions. Our work represents several countries. I realized after I made this that I left off the United Kingdom. So one of our members has worked in multiple countries, including the United Kingdom. So we do represent a broad swath. We would love to include members from even more countries to improve our representation from around the world. We would also love to diversify the attributes of our committee members as far as different ways of identifying and different abilities, all sorts of things. Our upcoming work, so in the next 6 months, 18 to 18 months, our work will be about dissemination, dissemination, dissemination. How will it be that we get out there, we present our standards to the world through webinars, through conferences that a lot of us attend? If you're interested in helping us with those kind of presentations, webinars, or even developing online modules, that is a way that you could contribute to the work of the Standards Practice Committee. And finally, if you want any more information about the committee, please do email me. I'm available for all kinds of questions and happy to answer and tell you more about the work of the SOP committee and what we do. So I appreciate your time today. Here's a QR code in case you'd like to save this presentation. I'll let that hang for a few minutes, but I appreciate your time, and I look forward to either seeing you on a webinar soon or seeing you in St. Louis this summer.
Hi everyone, I'm Christina Bernardo and I'm the SPE educator at the Clinical Skills and Simulation Lab at Weill Cornell Medicine here in Doha, Qatar. On paper, my title is SPE educator, but in reality, I wear many hats: trainer, coach, coordinator, mentor, problem solver, and a lot more. I'm sure many of you in simulation education can relate to this. Most people see the final simulation encounter. What often goes unseen is everything that happens behind the scenes to make these moments meaningful. Countless hours are spent on recruiting, onboarding, training, coaching, retraining, scheduling, and supporting SPs to ensure every encounter aligns with learning objectives and faculty expectations. One of the most rewarding moments in my role is witnessing a learner's realization when a patient's perspective changes how they think, communicate, or even connect with others. Those moments remind me why this work matters. As SP educators, we do more than simulation activities. We help create safe spaces where learners can practice, reflect, and grow. We contribute a lot to shaping compassionate, competent health professionals who will carry those lessons into real clinical settings and ultimately into the lives of real patients. Behind every successful simulation is a team committed to learning, and I'm proud to be part of that process and to help ensure the patient voice remains at the heart of simulation education. Thank you so much for listening.
Hi, my name is Dr. Joby Uhane. I'm the Director of Interprofessional Simulation and Emerging Technology here at Florida Gulf Coast University. My title here is a Director of Simulation that oversees interprofessional simulation and emerging technology. It outlines any needs for standardized patients and the Merritt College Health and Human Service students working together in conjunction to academic proficiency and clinical performance. What do I do? So I basically overview and direct, instruct, facilitate, create any type of simulation or activity that requires training, certification, knowledge-based deficits or knowledge-based concepts, and apply SPs to help assist the Merritt College Health and Human Service students in gaining that proficiency and academic knowledge. The standardized patients really are a critical element to any simulation activity. Simulation is the broad spectrum of doing things, but in many ways, the standardized patients or SPs, they're the fundamentals. And they're not actors. They are trained professionals that are taught countless hours to the basic knowledge of the disease, the basic knowledge of what needs to be answered or how it's supposed to be answered with the condition that we're looking at. Standardized patients are an important aspect at Florida Gulf Coast University, and we require a majority of them to be very, very proficient, both knowledge-based with the disease process, and very independent in how to act or react in clinical questioning. We're located here at Fort Myers, Florida, the Southwest Florida region, where we are exposed with many elements of tornadoes and thunderstorms and hurricanes and disasters. So the proficiency of these SPs are really an important aspect when we do disaster drills or disaster elements, and allow these medical providers and medical healthcare professionals to react when situations like this occur. These are one of the major episodes where I use my standardized patients. My journey here began when I became a respiratory therapist in the late 80s. Worked at major hospitals and institutions all across the United States, from the East Coast and the Midwest, and then ultimately in academia, where I led and was a director of respiratory therapy and simulation-based concepts. I'm excited to be here at Florida Gulf Coast University after having a long stint also in the military within the U.S. Army as a combat medic and medical officer in the Navy, serving our great state now in the Florida State Guard. So I combine both the academic and the clinical side of respiratory therapy and the military side of what we do in the military, and proficiently provide that SP concept or interprofessional simulation-based concept. So the whole topic today is why join ASPE IPE SIG. We're a special interest group in ASPE that really looks at interprofessional education, interprofessional simulation, and allowing standardized patients to be more of a solution to help providers and clinicians work based on the knowledge or the problem that they're trying to do. So if you are interested, and we hope you are as much as I am, join the IPE SIG group at ASPE. We would love to have you, your knowledge, your information. Look for more information and sign up on the QR code I have listed below. And that QR code can get you right on the system. Otherwise, we also have my email and my contact that you can also try and reach. Thank you and have a great day.